Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the World Series matchup. Before we get started, I'd like to apologize for yesterday. That didn't go too great, but we've got it today. Before I get started, I do want to confirm that you guys hear my voice correctly and that you guys hear music right now. So once I know that you guys hear me and that you hear music, alright, great. So, and before we get going, again, we'll have a little recap. Vandals beat the Crabs in Game 5, series final 3-2. Stephen Moore was the MVP. Moore hit 2 home runs, both in games 1 and 2, and then Vandals weren't able to pick up that third win until Game 5, when it came down to the very wire. Winning pitchers throughout the series. Gamble had a win, Rodriguez had a win, Cowers picked up 2, and Steiner picked up 1. Losses: Castillo, Koufax, Gamble, Secret, Koufax again, and Gamble with a save. So I don't think there's anything left for me to do to stall. We'll check the standings one last time, I suppose. Sloths had 63 wins on the year, Vandals with 59. The Vandals and Sloths had a 10-10 record head-to-head against each other this season. So there's no definitive edge either way based on the regular season. But as we all know, the regular season's come and gone. So whatever happened then is in the past. It does not matter now. What matters now is who's going to win 4 games before they lose 3, before they lose 4. Game 1, we've got Rodriguez taking on Khan in San Antonio. Running Kiwi's going to lead things off here with a base hit. It's a leadoff single. And the Vandals are going to squander a leadoff single. Stephen O'Sullivan grounds out to lead things off for the Sloths at bats, and that's a well hit ball by Shooting McGlish. That is gone. Sloths are on the board here in Game 1 as Shooting McGlish hits a solo shot to deep left field. And that's a very well hit ball by Dew. He's got at least a double, and that's where the big man's going to end up. And Simon Hans lines out to third to end the inning. Sauce up early 1-0 with the solo shot. I don't know what's going on with the requests. There we go. Another early base hit in an inning for the Vandals, and it'll be squandered once more. Oh, no, Hernandez is going to be safe at first. Godfrey Bowman with a 2-out single. That brings up Arbin Asipi, who had virtually no at-bats during the regular season, and he's here in the postseason now. Yeah, he had 13 at-bats and 5 hits during the regular season. 2 of those hits were home runs. And 3 up, 3 down for Rodriguez against this loss here in the bottom of the second. We go top of the third, each team with 2 hits. San Antonio with 1 run as their hit went over the fence. When a Kiwi flies out to left field, Robert Phelps at the catch. Ishikawa, who slumped virtually the whole regular season, he had just 174 on the year. He did start to heat up towards the end of the regular season, and the Vandals must believe in him as they got him in the 2-hole now. Vic Thunder grounds out, and Phil the Thrill, as he was nicknamed, in the cleanup spot. And Stephen Moore is going to lead off the 4th inning with a fly out there. Well hit ball by Marcos Gonzalez. That's deep center field. He's got himself a stand-up double. And Hernandez might have himself an RBI. They're going to send Gonzalez. No play at the plate. Vandals able to tie things up here in the top of the 4th. And a wild pitch. Godfrey Bowman with a well hit ball. A little bit too much hang time on it. They're going to send the runner from second. He's going to be safe at third. So with 2 outs, runners on third for Arbin Asipi, and he goes down swinging. I hope I'm alive. If I'm not, I've got pretty good Wi-Fi up here beyond the pearly gates. Happy to be doing the stream here from heaven. And Dew is called out on strikes. Curveball got him. And Simon Hans with a well-hit ball, but Vic Thunder able to range over towards the foul ball line, and he's able to reel it in. 1-2-3 inning. And Johnny Runikiwi, a well-hit ball to left. No luck though. Robert Phelps able to reel it in. And Ishikawa has a blooper to center, but it stays up just too long, and Stephen O'Sullivan's able to make the catch. And Vic Thunder picks up his 6th base hit of the postseason as that drops. Phil the Thrill has some hang time on that one, and it's going to be caught without a problem for Sophia Bennett. And that's up the middle for Sophia Bennett. That's a base hit. Roger Batten, that one's going to be gone. 2-run blast for Roger Batten. After leading the league in batting average last year, he's here with some slugging. gives this loss a 2-run lead. And that'll sneak by Phil the Thrill. And an error in center. Joffrey Baratheon went from just barely squeaking out a single to ending up on second base. And Stephen O'Sullivan draws a lengthy walk in that at bat. Shug McGlish draws a walk. Esteban Rodriguez having a hard time here now. And Julian O'Sullivan's going to fly out to left. They're going to send the runner from third. And he's going to score. So sac fly and another walk. Base is loaded. And Gonzalez able to cover some distance, some ground, make the catch. Even more grounds out back to the pitcher. Marcos Gonzalez goes down swinging. And with 2 outs, Hernandez steps into the box. He's got himself a base hit. And Godfrey Bowman is able to force a lengthy at bat, but he is the 3rd out of the inning. And that's up the middle. Sophia Bennett's got a base hit, leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th. And Batten pops out here after homering in his last at bat. Robert Phelps hits one high right back to the catcher. Ishikawa's got it. And a great play by Stephen Moore. That's the 3rd out of the 6th. So after the leadoff base hit for Sophia Bennett, Rodriguez is able to get the next 3 batters out. Asipi draws a walk. Still no base hits yet for this postseason, but he's drawn a couple of walks. Ronikiwi grounds out to second, and they're able to turn 2. 4-6-3 double play. Ishikawa draws a walk. So with 2 outs, Vic Thunder steps in the batter's box now. And he grounds into a fielder's choice to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. San Antonio looking to extend their lead. They're up 4-1 and have the top of their order due up. Stephen O'Sullivan draws a walk. Jimmy Glish sends one down the line and right. He's got himself extra bases. He's thinking 3. McGlish is out at 3rd, however a run does score. And that'll drop for Dew. That's a 2-out single. And Chuck Gamble able to pick up a strikeout here. Interesting decision to put Gamble in. I realize you need to do everything you can to give yourself a fighting chance, but if you're already down 4 with just 2 frames left, I'm not sure I'd want to burn up my best reliever's arm, arguably their only quality reliever. And with 2 outs for Hernandez, he's going to ground out to short. They pick up the fielder's choice, and that ends the top of the 8th. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Bennett, Batten, Phelps due up for this loss. Bennett goes down swinging. Batten's going to ground out to... Grounds too short, but not out. Ronikiwi does not get a throw off to first. And they throw him out at second. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play for the Vandals in the bottom of the 8th to end it. So we go to the 9th inning. Do or die now for Vancouver. They're down 4 and have the bottom of their lineup due up. Bowman's called out on strikes. That brings up Asipi, who has sat almost the entirety of the regular season. He goes down swinging. So 2 outs. Vandals need 4 runs. They've got Running-Kiwi, Ishikawa, Thunder, and Phil the Thrill all needing to get home. Running-Kiwi gets a single, that's the first step. And Ishikawa's going to ground out to fielder's choice. Shortstop, Sloths win game 1. Final score 5-1. Sloths win game 1. Thompson and Walkaway will be on the mound in game 2. Khan the win and player of the game, allowing just 1 run in 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 101 pitches. Gamble went 30 pitches in 2 innings, so if he's pitching tomorrow, he's gonna be sore. And 2 innings from Ovechkin to help, excuse me, help seal the deal. Running-Kiwi leads things off with a strikeout here. And Ishikawa gets a base hit. Drops in shallow left. And Thunder with his first home run of the postseason. He puts his team on the board. They're up early now, 2-0. And Phil the Thrill sends one into right. It'll be caught. And Stephen Moore grounds out. That ends the first inning for the Vandals batters. We go to the bottom of the first. Knuckleballer Philip Thompson on the mound today for the Vandals. Shooting McLish, who homered to lead things off in the first inning last game. He's got himself a base hit, single. And a long at bat for Robert Phelps. He goes down swinging. And that's a well hit ball from Julian O'Sullivan. That's going all the way to the wall. It's off the wall. A run's going to score. Julian O'Sullivan with an RBI double. And Dew is going to pick up an RBI himself. Julian O'Sullivan's around and scores. And I don't know what that is, but we've got some heads down baseball from the Vandals the last couple of batters. That'll drop as well. And Simon Hans grounds out to end the first inning. So after a series of unfortunate fielding events for the Vandals, the Sloths put up 3 runs in the first. They take the lead right back. And Godfrey Bowman's got himself a 2-out single. Shortstop Julian O'Sullivan not able to get over there and get it in time, but Asipi strikes out. Ground out to first for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Stephen O'Sullivan draws a walk. Another lengthy at bat, something the Sloths have been quite successful at so far this series. It's still early, but they're able to draw some very long at bats and run up the pitch counts very quickly. Philip Thompson is at 50 pitches in just 2 innings. Running-Kiwi's got a base hit here to lead off the third. And he's going to attempt to steal second. He's safe. And a well-hit ball from Ishikawa. That's going all the way to the wall. A run's going to score. And he's got himself a double. And we've got ourselves a tie game. Vic Thunder now. That's going to get past the catcher. Ishikawa gets over to the third, so no outs. Vandals have a runner on third. Vic Thunder goes down swinging. That brings up Phil the Thrill. And he's got himself an RBI single. And that goes up the middle. Stephen Moore able to get a base hit. Runners on first and second, one out for Marcos Gonzalez. And that's a well-hit ball to left center field. That's going to bounce off the dugout wall. 2 runs are going to score, and Gonzalez has himself a double. And Hernandez draws a walk. So after a rough first inning for Philip Thompson, Walkaway's got himself in a rough third inning. Bowman's going to ground out. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Sippy with his first base hit of the postseason, and it's an RBI single with 2 outs. And Ronikiwi's got a base hit. He's got 2 RBIs on 2 bases, a double, 2 outs for Ronikiwi. And they're finally able to pick up the 3rd out of the 3rd inning, but not before Vancouver puts up 7. So it's a 9-3 ball game here in the bottom of the 3rd. What looked like a ball game that was probably going to go San Antonio's way, it may not. Philip Thompson's pitch count is still high, and Chuck Gamble went 2 innings yesterday, so it's possible San Antonio is going to have the ability to make a comeback. They've got as deep and as talented of a lineup as anyone, and Roger Batten's got a 2-run blast here. So it's a 9-5 ball game. Bad day to be a pitcher. And Simon Hans grounds out to end the 3rd. We go to the top of the 4th. Vancouver with a 9-5 lead, and both starting pitchers are looking not great. Vic Thunder grounds out to short. And Phil the Thrill is going to ground out to the first baseman. Pitcher is able to cover. Don Kelly in, by the way, for this inning. Picked up the final out of the 3rd as well. Steve Moore is going to try to turn this into a double, and he's going to be safe. Stand-up double with 2 outs for Stephen Moore. That brings up Marcos Gonzalez, who had a timely 2-out base hit earlier, but he's going to go down swinging this time around. And that's going to be a solo shot, no doubt about that. The second it left its bat, Joffrey Baratheon. That's his first home run of the postseason, possibly his first postseason home run of his career. Nope, he has picked up home runs in 2019 and 2020 in the postseason. And Robert Phelps is going to be called out on strikes. Hernandez is called out on strikes. Don Kelly picks up his 2nd strikeout. And Godfrey Bowman's got himself a base hit that goes up the middle over to second base. And Sippy's got one in play, but caught by right fielder Sophia Bennett. And Ronikiwi's going to ground into a fielder's choice to end the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Sauce have Julian O'Sullivan due and Bennett due up. And that'll be in play, but caught by Vic Thunder. And Dew flies out, again caught by Vic Thunder. And in a 7-pitch at bat, Sophia Bennett draws the walk. Philip Thompson now over 100 pitches in just 5 innings, and he's given up 6 runs. And Ishikawa's going to reach. Dew not able to make the play at third. And Vic Thunder draws a walk and a lengthy at bat, 7 pitches. Runners on first and second, no out for Phil the Thrill. He goes down swinging. Stephen Moore is called out on strikes. 2 outs now. Don Kelly working himself out of a jam. And Marcos Gonzalez is going to ground out, and that ends the 6th. We go to bottom of the 6th. Trent Bolt picked up that final out. Simon Hans goes down swinging. Philip Thompson's still out there. Not tired yet, but he's got to be getting close. Stephen O'Sullivan draws a walk. Not a base hit yet for Stephen O'Sullivan, but an on-base percentage of 500. And that'll be a base hit. Robert Phelps, at least 1 run will score. What? I'm guessing that's a... Okay, so that happened, and at the end of it, it's an 8-9 ball game. We go to the 7th inning. Vancouver was up 9-3 at one point. It's now 9-8. Hernandez grounds out to short. Godfrey Bowman draws a walk, 7 pitches. And Asipi lines out to third. Not only do the Sloths have a very deep lineup, but they've also got a very deep bullpen. Something the Vandals are lacking this year. If the Vandals are going to win these games, it's going to come down to their starting pitchers. And you're not going to win a lot of games as a starting pitcher if you give up 8 earned runs. So we'll see how things go. Philip Thompson now up to 135 pitches. 136. So he gets out of, he's at 140 pitches through 7 innings. And Chuck Gamble pitched 2 innings yesterday in their loss. Why they put him in while they were down 5-1, I don't know, but they're going to end up having to rely on Chris Bennett, who completely fell apart towards the end of the year, or they're going to have to rely on 2 not good at all rookies. So it'll be interesting. And Stephen Moore robbed of a base hit. Great play by Julian O'Sullivan. Philip Thompson's still out there, and he picks up another strikeout. That's his 7th of the day. Almost as many strikeouts as he has earned runs. And that one's hit deep to center field, Jeffrey Baratheon, but it'll be caught by Marcos Gonzalez on the warning track. After 151 pitches, Stephen O'Sullivan picks up a base hit. Chris Bennett's in now after Thompson went 157, I believe, and gave up a 2-out base hit. And Bennett picks up A strikeout off Robert Phelps to get this game into the 9th. The series is at 1-0 Sloth's advantage. Marcos Gonzalez has himself a triple as that's off the wall in deep center field. Vancouver doing what they can to extend the lead. And John Smoltz is pitching here. Close play at the plate. Gonzalez is safe, so the lead extends to 2. And Arbanasipi swings at one that appeared pretty far out of the zone. Got it in play, but is caught. So Vancouver with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 9th. Chris Bennett is pretty much their only hope now. And I'm not a fan of that as a Vandal. So we'll see how things go. Dew hits one deep to center field, and that's off the wall. The fat man's thinking 3. He's going to get it, I think. I think he's going to be safe at third. He's safe. He does have himself a triple. Sophia Bennett gets one in play, and that's going to drop. Vandals outfield apparently not playing no doubles depth, and Sophia Bennett is in there at second with just 1 out. Roger Batten goes down swinging. Simon Hans the ability to walk us off with 2 outs in the 9th, and that is hit into right, but it'll be caught by Godfrey Bowman. Vandal is able to tie the series in a ridiculously high-scoring game at 1. Philip Thompson, 157 pitches, 8 earned runs, and he gets the win. If you would have told me going into this game that Philip Thompson would give up 8 earned runs and throw 157 pitches, I wouldn't believe you, but that's what happened. Walk away went 66 pitches, just 2 2/3. He got pulled after giving up 9 earned runs. And relievers were able to keep the Vandals off the scoreboard until John Smoltz in the 9th. He gave up an earned run, a hit, and a sac fly. And that earned run made all the difference as the Sloths fell short by 1 run. Vic Thunder, player of the game after going 2 for 4, 2 RBIs and a walk, including a 2-run blast in the first to get the scoring started. I don't know why the Nightbot for the music is the way that it is. It doesn't seem to process requests correctly. I don't know if anyone actually asked for Eleanor Rigby, but I skipped it because I don't think anyone did. And none of the requests had loaded at the time, so. Okay, so feel free to re-request it. My bad, I didn't realize that's what it was. So we move on to the 3-game homestand in Vancouver. A much-needed rest day for both teams' bullpens. Sauce went through a few relievers, but the Vandals had burned both of theirs, so it'll come out as a wash, in my opinion, on who got the biggest advantage out of that day off. Probably the Vandals, to be honest, with just 2 relievers. The Sauce had more. They probably could have got through it. We've got Greg Steiner on the mound taking on Chaz Lalake. Lalake, not historically good versus Vancouver. Greg Steiner, a bit better. And he's great in the postseason, so we'll see how things go. Stephen O'Sullivan leads things off with a high hit ball to center field. And I'm not sure what took Gonzalez so long to get there, but he had to dive for it at the very end. And 1-2-3 inning for Greg Steiner. Ronnie Kiwi hits one awfully similar to Stephen O'Sullivan's. High fly ball to center and caught by O'Sullivan. And Ishikawa gets one in play, but it'll likely be caught without a problem. It is. That's Robert Phelps with the catch. And Vic Thunder with 2 outs. He's going to be called out on strikes on a fastball that was just out of the zone. And Julian O'Sullivan grounds out to Stephen Moore for the first out of the second inning. Dew goes down swinging. And Sophia Bennett hits one to left field. Well hit, but it's playable. Vic Thunder with the catch. Phil the Thrill sends one a mile high right back to the pitcher's mound, and it's caught. Stephen Moore grounds out to short. 2 outs for Marcos Gonzalez, and he's going to pop out and field fly to short as well. Yeah, with as many players wearing alternate uniforms on days that the rest of the team is not, surprised there's not more repercussions from the league for not wearing protocol. And our first hit of the game comes from Roger Batten. And the Vandals turn 2. So still a 3-up, 3-down inning. Hernandez draws a walk. Godfrey Bowman's gonna draw a walk. So no outs. Runners on first and second for Arbin Asipi. He goes down swinging. And Ronnie Kiwi's gonna ground out to first, and they turn the double play. A 3-6-3 double play. Stephen O'Sullivan draws a walk here to lead off the 4th. Shooting Glish goes down swinging. And Robert Phelps is called out on strikes. Fastball at the bottom of the strike zone. And Julian O'Sullivan's called out on strikes on a splitter just on the edge there. Ishikawa goes down swinging. And Vic Thunder gets one up the middle. That's a base hit. 1 out for Vic Thunder. Phil the Thrill. He hits one to center field. Little too much hang time on that one. It gives O'Sullivan plenty of time to get there and catch it. And Moore's going to ground out to third. That ends the 4th. We're still scoreless at the end of 4 innings. Each team with 1 base hit. Vandals stranding a lot of runners with the walks that they've been able to get. And Dew flies out to center. Sophia Bennett, a lengthy at bat, flies out to right. Good catch from Bowman. And Roger Batten flies out to center. Another 3-up, 3-down frame for Greg Steiner, who led the league in ERA and probably a handful of other pitching stats. He's likely a top 1 or 2 vote for pitcher of the year. Hernandez grounds out to short. So with 2 outs, Godfrey Bowman. And he's got himself a base hit after robbing Sophia Bennett of one just moments ago. He tried to turn that into a double. He's going to be safe at second. And Desipi goes down swinging. Chased a fastball away, or down. Not quite away. Barely on the strike zone. Simon Hans goes down swinging. And another strikeout. And Stephen O'Sullivan goes down swinging. Curveball and 2 circle changes. On a Kiwi with a base hit. It's a leadoff knock in the 6th, and Ishikawa is gonna get beamed by that pitch. And Vic Thunder with a base hit. Bases loaded, no outs. The Vandals cannot afford to squander this opportunity like they've squandered all the other ones all game. And Phil the Thrill's got himself extra bases. That's a bases clearing double for Phil. 3 RBIs in 1 swing of the bat. He's now got 7 RBIs this postseason. See if more grounds out to third. Marcos Gonzalez has himself a base hit. No RBI though, as Phil holds up at third. And Hernandez has a base hit. It's an RBI single. And that'll be another RBI. Godfrey Bowman has a base hit. Don Kelly in. Arbanasipi, he grounds out. That'll be a double play. One thing that I would like to point out, well, the nickname The Thrill for Phil mostly came as a joke, as he was off to a very rough start to the year. He did end up finishing tied for most triples this season. He tied Roger Batten with 8. And Julian O'Sullivan goes down swinging. And Dew draws a walk. Runners on first and second now, 2 outs. Sophia Bennett now draws a walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Greg Steiner, who to this point hadn't allowed runners to get into scoring position, and now he has the bases loaded. They pull him and bring out Chuck Gamble, and he forces the pop out. After seeing how long they let Philip Thompson pitch, I'm surprised to see him pull Steiner that quickly, but it worked. And Vic Thunder with a towering hit to deep right field. That's gone. 2-run blast for him. Couple more insurance runs. It's now a 7-0 ball game as Phil the Thrill steps into the box with 1 out, and he's called out on strikes. Cutter right down the pipe. Stephen Moore with a base hit. Julian O'Sullivan not able to get to that one. They try to get Moore out at first, but he's safe. Marcos Gonzalez is going to be, I think he's safe at first. Abdu not able to get there in time, and Hernandez has a 3-run shot. The Vandals now, after struggling to put up runs in the first game, have now put up double digits in games 2 and 3. Godfrey Bowman's going to ground out to third to end the inning. Vandals put up a 5-er on the scoreboard in the last 2 innings. We go to the 8th. Simon Hans grounds out to lead things off. And that goes up the middle. If I'm the Vandals with a 10-run lead, I think I mean, it's the postseason, so you have to be careful doing stuff like that. But I'd let one of those other not good relievers pitch. If they can give up 10 runs in the time it takes them to get 3 outs, then they've got other problems. Definitely don't want to burn out Chuck Gamble. And running Kiwi grounds out to third for the second out. That brings up Ishikawa with 2 outs here, bottom of the 8th. Likely the last at bat for the Vandals here as he flies out to right. Sophia Bennett with the catch. So a 10-0 ball game as we go to the top of the 9th. Phelps, Julian O'Sullivan, and Dew is due up. Chuck Gamble still on the mound. 25 pitches for him now as Julian O'Sullivan flies out to center. And Dew goes down swinging. And Sophia Bennett draws a walk. Chuck Gamble still on the mound. And he'll pick up the 3rd out. Vancouver takes a 2-1 lead in the World Series on the backs of a great outing from Greg Steiner and relief from Chuck Gamble, who picks up a save despite the final score being is what it is, as he was able to pick up a crucial out to end the 7th inning. Greg Steiner's player of the game, giving up just 3 walks and 2 base hits, 11 strikeouts. Lalake looked pretty good until the 5-run 6th inning, and Kelly and Pitcherman not able to stop the bleeding as the Vandals end up with 10 runs. Home runs from Thunder and Hernandez. It's a 2-1 ball game. It's really or 2-1 series. It's still anyone's series, but just a peek at what the Sloths have on the mound versus the Vandals. We've got Austin taking on Secret. Austin had a great year. However, Victoria's Secret's a reigning pitcher of the year and has been several times. Historically not great in the postseason, but eventually you got to get over your postseason woes, and I'm sure Secret's hoping to do so now. And our next game following that will be a rematch of Game 1, Khan and Rodriguez. Khan able to win the first game. I'm sure Rodriguez is hoping to change his luck around, not pitching at San Antonio where home runs are a dime a dozen. Stephen O'Sullivan grounds out to start things off here. And a lengthy at bat for Shooty McLish ends in a single, 10 pitches. And Julian O'Sullivan is gonna ground out. Runner advances to second though, so 2 outs for Min Jun Do, and he goes down swinging. Chasing a 75-mile-per-hour changeup out of the strike zone. Running Kiwi goes down swinging. Ishikawa is aboard to 1-out single. And a well-hit ball from Thunder. Too much hang time, not enough depth though, and that's going to be caught by Robert Phelps in left center. Ishikawa is safe at first. Phil the Thrill with 2 outs. Not very often you see a pitcher afraid of Phil the Thrill, but with 2 outs, it seems to be when he strikes the most. Just a 156 average and on-base percentage, but a 500 on-base plus slugging for Phil the Thrill. He doesn't hit the ball often, but when he does, it goes a distance. And Sophia Bennett's beaned. And Roger Batten's going to ground into a double play that ends the second. One thing that's interesting about Matthew Austin, who's on the mound today, last season was his worst season of his career in terms of ERA, and this year has been his best. He went from a 4.76 last year to a 3.21 this year. And he had a whip drop of about 0.15. And Stephen O'Sullivan called out on strikes on a fastball that may have been a touch out of the zone. Just nearly clipped the edge there. And Godfrey Bowman flies out to center. That brings up Arbin Asipi. And he puts it in play, but it's going to be caught. Now 1 for 13. And running Kiwi does have a base hit. That'll drop. Sophia Bennett not able to rob that base hit there. And the stolen base attempt is successful. Running Kiwi steals second. And Ishikawa able to capitalize on it with 2 outs. The Vandals steal second and pick up an RBI single. That gives them a 1-0 lead here in the third, and Vic Thunder draws a walk. 4 consecutive sinkers, just barely out of the strike zone, down and away versus Vic Thunder. Shooting McGlish, called out on strikes, screwball, in on his hands. Julian O'Sullivan gets one in play, and that's going to drop. Just 1 for 14 now. I'm sorry, 2 for 14. And a lengthy at bat for Dew as he flies out to right fielder Godfrey Bowman. And that'll be in play, but an easy play for running Kiwi to make the toss to fill the thrill. Vancouver hoping to hold on to this lead here. Hoping to extend it now in the bottom of the fourth as Stephen Moore draws a walk. And Gonzalez puts it in play, but far too much hang time. Not near enough depth. And that's easily caught for Stephen O'Sullivan. And Hernandez, victim of a double play. And Sophia Bennett gets that in play. It's up the middle, a base hit. And Roger Batten also picks up a base hit. Running Kiwi not able to field it cleanly at short. And we've got a balk. Victoria's Secret balks, taking away double play opportunities, and a run scores because of it. And that'll get past Ishikawa. Husband and wife not on the same page there. And the throw to the plate, can't imagine that's in time. It is not. So a sac fly. San Antonio able to score 2 thanks to a balk called. Godfrey Bowman draws a walk. Matthew Austin hitting down and away with a lot of sinkers. And Arbin Asipi grounds into a double play. That brings up running Kiwi with 2 outs. And he'll fly out to left to end the 5th. Julian O'Sullivan grounds to second. Dew goes down swinging. And Hans has himself a base hit. And we've got a stolen base with 2 outs, successful. Vic Thunder able to do it. And Vandal is able to score on small ball tactics again. 2 outs, stolen base, followed by a single. And that's the 3rd out of the 6th inning. We head to the 7th, tied at 2 runs apiece, 5 hits apiece. Victoria's Secret gives up a base hit to lead off the 7th. Roger Batten with a single. Robert Phelps with a base hit. Runners on the corners, no outs. Secret's pitch count getting up there. 110. Vandal's not able to turn 2. And I guess you can say walking Stephen O'Sullivan isn't the worst thing to do there, but that is. Another walk. Base is loaded. A wild pitch. Again. And that's going to clear the bases. Julian O'Sullivan with the base hit. And Dew's going to fly out to deep left center. Base is loaded, 2 outs, and that'll drop. 2 more runs will score. Unless Vancouver's offense can get clicking like they did the last 2 games, this game is all but over. San Antonio is up 8-2 after 6.5 frames. Oh, my thing's messed up again. And the sippy goes down swinging. 2 outs for running Kiwi. Runner is able to advance. Small ball tactics, no good this time around. With the runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Vandal's not able to pick up their 3rd run like they picked up their first 2. We head to the 8th. Vandal sticking to the leave the pitcher in there as long as possible in relief. And they're not able to turn 2. And that'll sneak by Hernandez at first. And the run scores from first base. And Dude's got a base hit. Another run's going to score. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, and they finally get out number 3. So unless the inconceivable happens here in the 8th and 9th inning, the series will be tied at 2. Somehow they got the out at second. And Phil the Thrill grounds into a fielder's choice. Oh, there it is, another balk. So whoever this home plate umpire is probably a douchebag for calling 2 balks in the postseason, but here we are. Please do not do the balk. Robert Phelps with a base hit on a softly hit ball that running QE not able to get to. And that's out of the park. Paratheon with his second blast of this World Series. Well, while this train wreck works itself out, I'm gonna grab a glass of water. Alright, sorry for the long pause. I see the Vandals did not score 11 unanswered runs in the bottom of the 9th to walk things off, but let's see, not great outings from Oxhard or Bennett. Not a bad outing from Secret. but after 116 pitches, she gets pulled. Austin W, fast guy pitcherman with some relief. Julian O'Sullivan, player of the game after a slow start to the postseason. Julian goes 3 for 6, 3 RBIs. So series is tied at 2. Basically, we find ourselves in a best 2 out of 3 situation here. Khan and Rodriguez, a rematch due up next. Following that, we've got Philip Thompson and Walkaway. And Game 7, should we need it, will be Greg Steiner taking on Chaz the Locke. Now, if I'm the Vandals, I just want to win one game of the next 2. I believe in Steiner in Game 7, and they'll have Secret out of the bullpen should they make it to Game 7. So between Steiner and Secret, they shouldn't have too many troubles going 9 innings, but I've been wrong before. Vandals bullpen looks like this. Chuck Gamble doing all the work. Chris Bennett stealing 12 saves along the way this season. Mason Brown and Michael Oxard existing. Oxard actually hasn't been too bad. He's been bad, but not too bad. I'm hesitant to say that Vancouver has the edge here because they do have to force the Game 7 first. And while Rodriguez, I'd give the edge to Khan here just due to how great he's been since switching to a power pitcher. But Rodriguez is still a great pitcher, so it could go either way. I'd say Khan has a slight edge. And Walkaway and Thompson both had similar years this year, just looking at ERA alone. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. Thompson with a slight edge in ERA over Walkaway. However, the Sloths have 9 batters on their lineup that could score a run. Not at will, but for the most part, they can score when they want to. Their worst hitter hit 246. The Vandals have hitters at 196. So when you're talking about that big of a gap, it's definitely a different ball game. So we had a Game 5. For those that don't remember, this matchup here at this stadium at the end of the year is what sparked Chris Bennett's decay of the season. Esteban Rodriguez got ejected in the first or second inning after getting in a fight with Baratheon. Great play by Stephen O'Sullivan in center. Ishikawa grounds out to second. Vic Thunder with 2 outs. He flies out to center as well. So Khan able to get 3 outs in just 7 pitches. And Simon Hunt draws a walk. Sophia Bennett draws a walk. And this is what caused some heartburn for Rodriguez in his last game. Was a lot of free passes and then home runs got to him. Kill the Thrill grounds to second. Stephen Moore goes down swinging. Marcos Gonzalez with 2 outs. He's gonna ground to second, and we go to the third. Tied at 0, no hits yet for either team. And that's a well hit ball by Jeffrey Baratheon, and that's gone. That's his 3rd home run of the postseason. Baratheon and Rodriguez now have a personal feud together between Baratheon hitting a couple of jacks off in this World Series and fight at the end of the season. I'm sure those two will not be forgetting each other's names anytime soon. And Julian O'Sullivan grounds into a double play, so excluding the home run, no runners have been left on base and no hits, excluding the one that led into a double play. Urbanisipi flies out to left. We move on to the 4th inning. And running Kiwi grounds to short. Ishikawa should have a base hit, but that's going to be caught. A diving catch by Robert Phelps in shallow left. Chick Thunder picks up a 2-out single. It's doing that thing again where your requests don't come through. Robert Phelps draws a walk. Baratheon hits one hard and deep to left field, and it's going to drop. He's got himself a triple.
Hey yo, Sap, what's good, bro? This man's kinda high out here. Hey yo, the flyest motherfucker in the room, yeah, you know it's me. Bitches hating on him cause he started out here locally. Hopefully, I'll be at the top soon. For now, I'm at my house, on the couch, watching cartoons. You know how much you love it when you get it in abundance. Give a fuck about a budget when you always be the subject of discussion. But it's nothing when you stop and just say fuck it cause you walking out in public and you hear him.
Baratheon hit 246 on the year with a 311 on base percentage. Slugging 462, good for 2.2 wins above replacement. 15 homers on the year. He's got 3 in 5 games. Look, I mispronounced it the first time and people said they liked the way that I incorrectly pronounced it, so I kept it incorrect because people liked it. I'm a man of the people. And an error. And Rodriguez's pitch count at 99 now. And that's gonna drop. Bases loaded, no outs here in the 6th. Rodriguez over 100 pitches. Sophia Bennett with a base hit. Baton or baton. It goes back and forth. So Sloth's now base hitting the Vandals to death here. That's likely a sack fly. Yep, no play at the plate. And Rodriguez finally able to get his new arch nemesis out. And Mason Brown on the mound now. The Vandals have effectively given up today, I suppose. So it's a 7-0 ball game. And Ronnie Kiwi has a well hit ball to right. That's going to be caught, however. I would not be surprised with how Vandal AI controls their relievers if Mason Brown finishes this ball game, regardless of the score. So this is the part of the broadcast where if you're hungry, you should go get some food. If you're thirsty, you should go get something to drink. If you got to use the bathroom, I don't think you're missing too much. And if there were a time for me to fall asleep at my keyboard, it would be now. And Mason Brown doing some goon work for Rodriguez. He clips Joffrey Baratheon. And they turn two beautifully. I like this song. I don't care what people say if it goes against my own personal beliefs. I'm only a man of my people until it's inconvenient for me. If that's the case, I'm putting this song on loop. It's not very often we see the World Series devolve into an ask the booth or talk with the booth situation. The Vandals are now on the board. 2 out hitting here in the bottom of the 8th. Oh my goodness. They tack on another. They're only down 5 runners on the corners for Ishikawa and 2 outs. But he goes down swinging. Now the Vandals just need Mason Brown to finish this inning, scoreless again, and then they just need to score 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright, now Weezer Africa. That's where I draw the line for my Africas. It's either Toto's or it's not playing. Man, they really are going to have Mason Brown's arm fall off. I don't think they're too worried about it, though. And another base hit. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Vandals only need to score 8 runs before they pick up 3 outs. Vic Thunder with the leadoff base hit against old teammate John Smoltz Jr. Phil the Thrill goes down swinging. 2 outs left. And Stephen Moore does something quite fitting. Basically euthanizes the team for the rest of the game. Grounds into a double play to end it. So Rodriguez picks up the L. He's now 0-2 in the postseason. Not easy to do pitching against this loss and going against Khan. So we now have a 3-5. The Sauce have won 3 of 5 games. Vandals on death's door, so to speak. They've got Thompson and Steiner due up their next 2 games. Both of these at San Antonio. Why do you guys request like 50 Mac Miller songs? Now we're talking white and nerdy. I don't know what that is.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have
And run a Kiwi. A leadoff home run to get things started here in Game 6. Something the Vandals desperately needed. Goosebumps walk away, an opportunity to give the Sloths their first World Series victory with a strong outing here. He gives up the home run on his first batter faced. And a base hit here to Phil the Thrill. I skipped several other songs, if it makes you feel any better. I did skip some Mac Miller songs. If you guys want to write, you can, it's fine. If I don't recognize it, I might skip it. Or if it starts and it sounds kind of memey, I might skip it. Marcos Gonzalez just short of a home run. That's off the wall. He's got a double. And Hernandez grounds out to short. And Godfrey Bowman with a base hit. That's an RBI. Arbin Asipi up the middle. That's another base hit. Yeah, you guys can execute me afterwards. I don't really mind. Runners on first and second, 2 outs as running QB goes down swing. That brings up Ishikawa, who's called out on strikes after a somewhat long at bat on a fastball, 102 miles per hour on the edge of the strike zone. See, if you guys didn't ask for songs like, let's see here, Africa, but I'm screaming the lyrics, I probably wouldn't have to monitor what songs are being played. And if for whatever reason Nightbot has been acting up lately whenever I'm using it, I have to restart songs and skip songs to get the rest of the queue loaded, and I don't know why. And Vic Thunder is gonna ground out. Stephen Moore, a well hit ball to center field, but it should be playable, and it's caught by Stephen O'Sullivan. Yeah, like all the songs that you guys just added to the queue did not show up. Simon Hans grounds back to the pitcher. Yeah, Nightbot's been really crappy lately, and I don't know why. And another base hit that splits the right side of the infield. Ooh, great play from Bowman. They get the runner out at third. Moore with the tag. So Vandals able to get themselves out of a sticky situation. Instead of runners on first and second with 1 out, they get out of it scoreless. And Robert Phelps is going to ground out here. Excuse me. And Julian O'Sullivan flies out to right. Dew hits one hard to deep left field, but it's going to be caught by Vic Thunder just before the warning track there. Urbanisipi strikes out on his 7th pitch. He chases a... I didn't catch what pitch that was, but it was probably a good foot above the strike zone. And Ishikawa's got a base hit. I think the run's going to score. He's out, and according to the little live play-by-play up here, it's that the ump may have blown that call, but there's nothing we can do about it now. We head to the bottom of the 5th, Vandals with a 2-0 lead. Sophia Bennett picks up a base hit, splits the right side of the infield. And Roger Batten with a 2-run blast. That's going to tie her up. That's Batten's 3rd home run of the postseason. He is hitting about 450. 458 on the year now after that homer. So Stephen O'Sullivan now with 2 outs. And he's called out on strikes. Watches a knuckleball go right down the middle. Yeah, MVP Baseball 2005 is the best of all time. Phil the Thrill here hits one to deep center field. He's got himself a double. That brings up Stephen Moore with no outs. Runner already in scoring position. A little blooper to left. Not able to land for a base hit though. And Marcos Gonzalez has a base hit. Phil not able to score from second despite leading the league in triples. Base is loaded now. And Godfrey Bowman fouls one off. It's playable. And it's caught by Dew. Arbin Asipi with 2 outs. Base is loaded. He sends one to the wall. He's got himself a bases clearing double. So Vancouver, after blowing a 2-0 lead, now has a 5-2 lead here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Run a Kiwi. Up the middle for a base hit. Asipi is going to score from second. And Ishikawa goes down swinging. Vancouver now with a 6-2 lead here in Game 6 of the World Series. McLeish is out at first. Phelps grounds out to the first baseman. Hernandez takes it himself. And wash and repeat there. Julian O'Sullivan, same thing. Vic Thunder. No luck there. Great play from Sophia Bennett in right field. Feel the throw is going to pop out to the second baseman there. And with 2 outs, Stephen Moore gets one in play, but it'll be caught by Roger Batten in left. After our 7th inning stretch, Dew, Bennett, and Batten will be up for the Sloths. Yeah, after Philip Thompson threw 157 pitches just a few days ago, he's already at 104 pitches now. I guess when you only throw a 80 to 83 mile per hour fastball, you have the luxury of being able to play catch basically with the catcher for quite some time. Marcos Gonzalez with a base hit now. Hernandez goes down swinging. Went out for Godfrey Bowman, who's got a couple of RBIs so far this postseason, one of them today. Hitting .313 out of the 8 hole, and Trent Bolt is fixated on Gonzalez. Finally throws it home, and a fastball catches the edge of the strike zone, called out. And Asipi grounds out. That ends the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Hans, Baratheon, and Stephen O'Sullivan due up for San Antonio. Hans goes down swinging. Baratheon gets it in play, but it's going to be caught by Vic Thunder in shallow left field. And Stephen O'Sullivan is robbed of a base hit. Great play by Marcos Gonzalez in center field. It's a 6-2 ball game as we head to the 9th. Vandals with an opportunity to add some insurance runs as the top of their orders due up. Ishikawa hits one to deep left field in the corner, but it's caught by Phelps, so with 2 outs, Vic Thunder steps into the batter's box, and he flies out to center. Philip Thompson's still out there. Bottom of the 9th, it's a 4-run lead for the Vandals. Thompson's at 122 pitches. And that's a home run for Robert Phelps 2-run blast. 353. It's a 2-run ball game now. 6-4. Imagine we'll see Chuck Gamble. And that sneaks past the second and first baseman. And Chuck Gamble's got himself in a sticky situation. The game-winning run is now in the batter's box. Sophia Bennett strikes out the first out. Roger Batten puts one in play. Well hit, but not deep enough to do any damage with it. 2 outs. Simon Hans goes down swinging. We're going to have a game 7. So great outing from Thompson. Gamble almost got himself into a sticky spot, but pitched out of it. Getting 2 strikeouts and a fly out. Walk away, giving up 6 earned runs in 5 2/3. What did him in? Trent Bolt went the rest of the distance without giving up any runs. Phil Thompson, player of the game after going 124 pitches in 8 innings, allowing 4 runs. Running Kiwi with a home run to lead things off. And doubles from Mississippi, running Kiwi, Gonzalez, and Phil the Thrill. So our Game 7 matchup, Greg Steiner, who could possibly be Pitcher of the Year, is taking on Chaz Delake, who does not historically perform well in the postseason. Additionally, Victoria's Secret is now available in relief. It's too late. I looked at Discord and I already messaged back. Got it. I can delete the message though, but I can't undo what I just said. I don't remember where. I don't remember where Secret was supposed to be categorized in the bullpen, so while I wait for a message back from Vandal Management, I'll go to the Sloths, and they've done something similar. Matthew Austin will be going to the bullpen. Austin will now be middle relief. And Khan is slightly tired, 69 nice percent. Back to the Vandals. Alright, what did they want to do? So long relief for Secret. Yeah. Okay, so they're not doing that. And that's the best I can do. I can't actually take them out of the bullpen. I guess I could release them for this, but I can't make them not be on the team. So So that's the best I could do. Non-specified, avoid high leverage. If it gets to the point where they're pitching, odds are the game's out of hand to the point that it really doesn't matter. That's the best I can do. Okay, so we've got our Game 7 matchups, a couple of moves from the Vandals. Vandals now have Secret available in middle relief, and it has a stopper roll. Oh, I think... Did you want to move Chris Bennett's usage option down as well? You know, Bobby Hill, if you were the Vandals GM, I'd think about it. So normal usage for both. Both are 100. Ooh, not that one. Both are mostly well rested. Okay, so a couple of moves from both teams as we go to Game 7. The Vandals have moved Secret into relief. Chris Bennett getting a little bit of a demotion, going to be pitching a little bit less. Sloths also move a pitcher into relief. Matthew Austin is now available out of the pen. Chaz Delake will be starting Game 7. He'll be taking on Greg Steiner. We're tied at 3. I feel like there's some other stuff I should do to stall just because it's Game 7, and I think that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, good call. Check the mail. Vic Thunder hurt himself. Might be why he hasn't had as many homers. Trying to be a at-home handyman. Severely sprained his fingers. So there you have it. Yeah, that's a good call. It's already 8:30. It's past my bedtime, so we'll pick up Game 7 tomorrow. I won't do that, guy. I won't do that to you. So, I will stall a little bit more though. Running Kiwi, Ishikawa, Thunder, Phil the Thrill, Stephen Moore, Marcos Gonzalez, Lazaro Hernandez, Godfrey Bowman, Arbin Asipi on the mound, Greg Steiner taking on Stephen O'Sullivan, Judy McLish, Robert Phelps, Julian O'Sullivan, Minjun Du, Sophia Bennett, Roger Batten, Simon Hans, and Joffrey Baratheon with Chaz Delake on the mound. I'm gonna wait 2 seconds, make sure I don't get any messages from... Nope. Okay, no more messages. Your window to make adjustments have closed. You have micromanaging managers. So we are now underway. And what did I say about covers of Africa? So 3 up, 3 down here. Start things off. Stephen O'Sullivan, a lengthy at bat, something they desperately needed against Greg Steiner. Sheena McLish flies out to left. And Robert Phelps strikes out. Phil the Thrill, leadoff base hit here in the second. Stephen Moore draws a walk in 4 pitches. A couple of those just barely missed the strike zone. Marcos Gonzalez is going to ground into a double play. That puts Phil the Thrill on third with 2 outs. Hernandez steps in the batter's box now, and that's hit well to deep left field. That's over the wall. It's a 2-run blast for Lazaro Hernandez. Vancouver strikes first. It is a 2-0 ball game. If Greg Steiner pitches today like he has the rest of the season, 2 runs will be all the Vandals need. Julian O'Sullivan with a base hit. That's going to drop. Just a single for Julian. Dew draws a walk. A couple of those close, but not quite to being strikes. Sophia Bennett with a base hit. Bases are now loaded. No outs for Greg Steiner. And that's going to drop. Base hit. Just 1 run scores. Simon Hans goes down swinging. That's the first out. And Baratheon, I think he's going to be called safe. The ump changed his call. Changed his mind mid-call. So another run scores. Seems like these AI umpires have been ruling in favor of San Antonio the last couple of games. So if the Vandals don't win this, we can blame fictional umpires in a game simulator. Arbanasipi with a double here to lead things off in the third. Johnny Ranakiwi grounds out to the pitcher. Ishikawa hits one deep to center field. That's going to be caught. Sippy's going to tag from second, so he's in at third with 2 outs for Vic Thunder. And that's going to be a base hit. The run scores. Vancouver reclaims the lead quickly as Vic Thunder picks up an RBI with 2 outs. Phil the Thrill draws a walk on a curveball that just missed the strike zone. Stephen Moore with 2 outs. That's up the middle, a base hit. Vic Thunder's going to come home. He scores. And that sneaks past the first baseman. He's got himself a double. 2 runs are going to score. Vancouver is putting it all now into this game 7. Hernandez with a ball hit deep to center field. I think that's going to be caught, and it is by Stephen O'Sullivan. It's a 6-2 ball game. Vancouver's blown bigger this series, so if you're a Sloth player or fan, I wouldn't be worrying too much quite yet. Greg Steiner was able to pitch himself out of a bases loaded, no outs jam. He did allow 2, but it could have been a lot worse. Godfrey Bowman's called out on strikes as a sinker. Watches go through the strike zone. A Sippy with a base hit. No, that'll be caught by Robert Phelps at the wall. And a very lengthy at bat for Ranakiwi that ends in him being called out on strikes. A sinker just about down the middle. Matthew Austin already out now for the Sloths. And Minjun Du picks up a base hit, leading things off here in the 4th with a single. Sophia Bennett goes down swinging. And Roger Batten splits the middle of the infield. He's got himself a 1-out single. Runners are on first and second for Simon Hans. And he gets that in play. That's going to drop. A run's going to score. So just as we were earlier, runners on first and second, 1 out. Hanakiwi not able to turn 2. He makes a safe play. Baratheon started to argue with the ump on that, but wisely dropped the argument before it got into anything more. Ishikawa, that'll be a base hit, leadoff single here in the 5th. Each team with, before that, oh, Vic Thunder deep to left field. Gone. 2-run blast for Vic Thunder. That's his first of the day. I think that's the first of the World Series. I believe his 2 were from the other series against the Crabs. However, I could be wrong. Phil the Thrill grounds out. That brings up Stephen Moore with just 1 out. Marcos Gonzalez goes down swinging. Did someone say MVP Baseball 2005? And Julian O'Sullivan with a 2-out base hit. Now 2 for 3 on the day, and Dew's got a base hit that's going all the way to the wall. It's bouncing off the dugout. Dew's got himself an RBI double. Sophia Bennett goes down swinging. That ends the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. Each team with 8 hits. However, Vancouver able to put together some homers, and they've got a 4-run lead. It's 8-4. Don Kelly on the mound now. He gets Hernandez to fly out on the first pitch. Fastball way out of the zone, and Godfrey Bowman draws a walk here. Mississippi goes down swinging. Running Kiwi in the box now with 2 outs and a runner on first. Running Kiwi goes down swinging. Batten, Hans, Baratheon due up now for the Sloths. Had Baratheon been batting 8th instead of 9th, the Sloths would have had 3 killer bees in the bottom of their lineup. And Batten safe at first. He's got an infield base hit. Runners on first and second, no outs. Baratheon, who's been crushing the ball all World Series, he flies out to left field for the first out. And Vandal's able to turn 2 as Stephen O'Sullivan grounds out to Phil the Thrill. We head to the top of the 7th. Still an 8-4 ball game. Ishikawa's called out on strikes. Don Kelly sticking with his fastball. And Vic Thunder draws a walk. And Phil the Thrill is going to advance the runner to second. He's out at first, however. So 2 outs for Stephen Moore. Runners in scoring position with Vic Thunder. And Robert Phelps able to make the catch there in the left. So after our 7th inning stretch, we've got McLish, Phelps, and Julian O'Sullivan due up for the Sloths. Greg Steiner's pitch count is getting up there. Shooting McLish draws a walk. And Robert Phelps draws a walk. Chuck Gamble in now for the Vandals, and Julian O'Sullivan takes it yard. It is a 1-run ball game following that 3-run blast. So Vandals go to the bullpen, and perhaps it was too early. And that one's well hit to deep left field. That'll be caught, however, by Vic Thunder. Sophia Bennett goes down swinging. That brings up Roger Batten with 2 outs. And he goes down swinging. So it's a 1-run ball game with 2 innings of play left. Gonzalez draws a leadoff walk. Don Kelly's still out there. And Hernandez lines out to O'Sullivan at short. Godfrey Bowman, a very lengthy at bat, he draws a walk. And Arbenisipi's gonna foul out. And running Kiwi's gonna ground to the shortstop. That ends the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, Sauce have Hans, Baratheon, and Stephen O'Sullivan due up. Hans hits one to center field. That's caught by Gonzalez. And that's in play for Baratheon. It's going to drop for a single. Stephen O'Sullivan draws the walk there. Long at bat. They take the sure out at first instead of trying to turn 2 or anything else. And an error allows a run to score. So we're tied. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Secret's out now. And Julian O'Sullivan flies out to Vic Thunder. So we head to the 9th. We're tied at 8. The Vandals have Ishikawa, Thunder, and Phil the Thrill due up. The Sloths will have Dew, Bennett, and Batten up in the bottom of the 9th. John Schmaltz now on the mound against his former team. He gets Ishikawa to go down swinging. Vic Thunder follows suit. He also strikes out. Phil the Thrill goes down swinging. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. We're tied at 8. The Vandals have gone through most of their bullpen. It's just Victoria's Secret and Chris Bennett left. Sophia Bennett goes down swinging for the second out of the 9th. Roger Batten with a chance to keep this game from going into extras. He puts it in play, but we're out. So we go to the 10th. And Stephen Moore is going to ground out. First baseman, he takes it himself. Marcos Gonzalez is hit by the pitch. So that brings Hernandez into the batter's box with a runner on first. He puts it in play, but it's going to be caught by Robert Phelps. 2 outs now for Godfrey Bowman. And he draws another walk, something he's been doing all postseason. Arbenisipi now. He puts it in play, but it should be caught without a problem for Sophia Bennett. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Game 7 of the World Series. We're in extra innings. Perhaps a rain delay is around the corner. And Baratheon goes down swinging, so Stephen O'Sullivan with 2 outs, and if he can't get it done, the Vandals have an opportunity with the top of their lineup due for the 11th. Victoria's Secret looking to kick her postseason demons out, as she is quite clutch out of the bullpen here in Game 7. Ronnie Kiwi gets one in play, but it's going to be caught by Sophia Bennett. So Ishikawa and Thunder due up next. Ishikawa up the middle. That's a single. And Thunder goes down swinging, so that brings up Phil the Thrill with 2 outs, a runner on first. He's going to be called out on strikes. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Sloss have McLish, Phelps, and Julian O'Sullivan due up. McLish goes down swinging. Phelps draws the walk. So that is your game-winning runner there at first. And Vandals are not able to turn 2, but they get the force at second. Julian O'Sullivan safe at first, and Dew grounds out. We go to the 12th. Vandals have Moore, Gonzalez, and Hernandez due up. Stephen Moore draws the leadoff walk. Alexander Ovechkin on the mound now. Marcos Gonzalez draws a walk. Runner on first and second, no outs for Lazaro Hernandez. And he's going to be a victim of a double play ball. So the Vandals get a runner at third, but there's 2 outs. Orlando Jackson now in for Godfrey Bowman. Not sure why they would do that. Bowman's been playing quite well this postseason. And Batten is called out on strikes. So Simon Hahn's due up now. And Hans grounds out to the shortstop. We go to the 13th inning in Game 7 of the World Series. A sippy. That's gone. That's a solo shot here in the top of the 13th. Arbin Asipi launches one to deep right field, 390 feet. The Vandals now have the lead. Alexander Ovechkin still out there after surrendering the home run. Ronikiwi fouls out. Ishikawa grounds out to the shortstop. With 2 outs, Vic Thunder steps in the batter's box. It's playable and caught by Stephen O'Sullivan. We go to the bottom of the 13th. San Antonio is down 1. They have Baratheon, Stephen O'Sullivan, and Shooty McLish due up. Baratheon does something he's been doing all World Series. He gets on base. Stephen O'Sullivan in a long at bat. He's out, foul ball. So 1 out. Shooty McLish now goes down swinging. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 13th. Robert Phelps. He grounds out to Stephen Moore. The Vandals have won the World Series. Final score 9-8 in this Game 7 after 13 innings of play. Victoria's Secret dominates extra innings, getting 6 strikeouts and 5 1/3 innings pitched. Easily the best pitching out of the pen I think Vancouver could have ever hoped for. While Greg Steiner didn't do what they needed him to do, Victoria's Secret, after allowing 1 hit that blew the save after Gamble got himself into trouble, Secret goes 5 1/3 without allowing any runs after the earned run credited to Gamble, allowing just 1 walk and 1 hit, 6 strikeouts. The home run off of Asipi, or from Asipi in the 13th, came off of Ovechkin. Lalake got pulled quickly after giving up 6 earned runs after 2 2/3. Victoria's Secret player of the game, without a doubt. Austin comes in, gives up 2 earned runs and 2 1/3. Kelly comes in and he pitches quite excuse me, quite well for 3 innings. As does Smoltz, and Ovechkin gives up the home run in the 13th inning. Julian O'Sullivan with his first home run of the World Series was a big one, scoring 3 runs to tie it up in the 7th. Whoever requested "We Are the Champions" timed that quite well, by the way. So that's our World Series. We'll go through each of the game's box scores. Game 1, Con picked up the W as the Sloths were able to score 5 runs. Vandals just picked up 1. Rodriguez giving up all 5 in 6 innings. Con player of the game. Game 2, Thompson pitched 157 pitches as the Vandals win 10-9. Terrible outing from Walkaway, but good effort from the bullpen. Smoltz just not able to keep the Vandals off the board. Had he done that, we might have seen extra innings. Game 3, the Vandals were able to shut the Sloths out in a 10-0 victory, scoring 5 runs in the 6th and the 7th innings, allowing just 4 hits all game. Steiner doing what he does best, Gamble doing what he does best. After the Vandals got off to a 2-1 lead in the series, looking to need Game 4 or Game 5 to really secure a chance, they get blown out of the water 12-2. Another rough postseason outing for Seeker, but really not that bad. 3 earned runs in 6 of a 3rd inning pitched. Bennett gets blown up. Oxhart gets blown up. Austin pitches quite well. Fast guy pitcherman closes out the game. So the series is tied 2-2 after 4 games. Game 5, Con shuts down the Vandals again. Sloths had a 3-2 lead here after Game 5. Rodriguez picked up another L. Mason Brown just finished out the game. Smoltz with a scoreless inning of relief pitching. Game 6, something the Vandals needed to win if they were going to force a Game 7, something the Sloths needed to win to avoid Game 7 and win it all. Not able to do so. The Sloths came close. They scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, but they fell short. 6-4 it was our final. Thompson picked up the win. Gamble picked up his 3rd save. So to this point, through 6 games, Gamble had the save in each one of their wins. Walkaway, the L, and Bolt, some good innings of relief pitching. And Game 7 finished with a 13-inning game. Final score was 9-8. Secret completely shut down the Sloths lineup in extras as she came in for relief pitching. 5 1/3 phenomenal innings pitch from Victoria's Secret. And Sloths pitching just not able to get it done outside of Don Kelly and John Smoltz Jr. that game. So for the postseason, Vic Thunder hit 367, slugged 667. Godfrey Bowman with a 517 on base percentage. Batten, Bennett, and Baratheon, the killer bees for the Sloths this World Series, were their top 3 hitters. Julian O'Sullivan not far behind. Bolt with 5 2/3 scoreless innings throughout the postseason. Con 2-0. Chuck Gamble with the best ERA from the Vandals pitching staff. Victoria's Secret, after a phenomenal Game 7 performance, finished with a 2.13 ERA. Chris Bennett with the worst ERA there. So that's all I've got for you guys. Vic Thunder was named Series MVP after hitting 367, slashing the rest of it. 424 and 667, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 11 hits, 30 at-bats. So if there's anything else you guys want to see, speak now, forever hold your peace. Yeah, well, we'll take a look at the minors. So Steeds wins that 3-2. It's not giving me the, there we go. Louis Storm was series MVP, shortstop for State College. Storm slashed 313, 389, and 688. 2 home runs, leading the team in home runs and RBIs. Philip Thompson, that postseason, was 2-0, 15 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 17 hits, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, picking up 12 strikeouts for an ugly ERA of 6.89. But all things considered, he pitched just bad enough to have an awful ERA and just good enough to still pick up the wins. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that postseason. So again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I know there were probably more people cheering for the Sauce and the Vandals this stream, but I hope you enjoyed this stream. Hope you had a good time watching it. And I hope you're ready for next year. For those of you just turning in, you missed quite a postseason. Game 7 went 13 innings. Man, this file's taking a little bit longer to upload than normal. Wonder if something big happened recently. Alright everybody, that's our stream. That's our index is now up to date. For those of you that want to dive a little deeper into what just occurred. I hope you have a great night.